We've had trainer galleries, we've had glaring galleries, but right now it's all about these special illustration Pokemon cards. That is the talk right now. We have art rares, and now we have these special illustration rares. And the thing is they're awesome. Like, I am all for really cool full art looking Pokemon. They just really do work, and they've done really well so far in the Scarlet and Violet era. We take away the card values aside, we can all agree they've done a fantastic job on the artwork for these sets, but some are worth more than others. So what are the top 10 most expensive special illustration Pokemon cards? Alright guys, so special illustration rares, there are some amazing ones, especially in the Scarlet and Violet era, and there are some actually in Crown Zenith as well, and it's given us an idea of what we can expect further on into the Scarlet and Violet era. Now obviously we've seen the upcoming ones coming in 151, and they look incredible, let's be honest, they look amazing. And we've seen some really cool ones with the brand new Charizard coming into Obsidian Flames with its fancy crown and all sorts. So there's some really cool looking cards. Let's get into the list. Here we are. So the top 10 most expensive special illustration Pokemon cards. We get a little sneak peek there. So we have some really nice ones, and there are some beautiful ones. We'll just take a look at some of them here, and we'll get into the list as well. And as you can see from Scarlet and Violet, and also in Paldea Evolved, and to be fair, Crown Zenith, we've seen some very nice cards. Very nice artwork. I will say the Spidops one, yeah, just not for me. But there are some really nice ones, of course, like the Zoroark from Crown Zenith. I know that a lot of you guys like that, and I really like the artwork of that one as well. And to be fair, there are some really nice ones. So let's get into the top 10. So at number 10, we have Tinker Ton. Now this is a very colourful card. We're looking at around $17 to $18. Paldea Evolved. Now Paldea Evolved, huge set. Kind of amazing, but a wide variety of hits that you can get in this set. That's why it feels tough to get the cards you want. Pull rates are good. It's coming from a massive pull. That's the issue that we have with Paldea Evolved. So Tinker Tongue, we're looking around $18. It has dropped. Look, we're looking at the prices pretty much across the board. Everything's been dropping. Okay, especially Paldea Evolved, Scarlet and Violet base. But there are a bunch of different ones of this card as well. Obviously, you got the different evolution cycle. You got the Tinker Tink and the Tinker Tough. Incredibly colourful, I must say. I actually quite like these. So we're looking at $5, $8, but the one we're talking about is around that $17 mark. Not massively expensive. We're looking at the top 10 so far, you know, at $17. You know, I think if we looked at alt arts when they first came out in, you know, Battle Styles, Chill and Rain, the first few sets of alt arts came in, we were probably looking at much higher values, but we'll have to wait and see. Right, number 9, we have the Glaceon V-Star. Now, this is from Crown Zenith. I absolutely love this card. Pretty much $18. This has been dropping along with all the other Crown Zenith cards going around. They have been going down in price, but this is still a beautiful card nonetheless. You know, from Crown Zenith. Now, Crown Zenith did bring in some amazing cards. The products are absolutely amazing for Crown Zenith as well. So that's one thing to take into consideration. But, you know, we're looking again at around $18, not massively expensive. It is coming in at number 9, pretty much the same as the Tinker Tongue, but nonetheless, it is pretty good. Then at number 8, we have the Fish. Now, I actually picked this up for myself recently at a card show because I wanted it in my collection. I love the artwork. This is beautiful. Here from Scarlet and Violet base. Again, not a massively expensive set. It has bounced back up, to be fair. You know, it did drop to 15 and it did go just slightly above 20, to be fair, and has slightly trickled down. One of the most expensive cards in the set. Again, $18 to $19. We're not breaking the bank on this one. But we can't deny the colors of this look absolutely incredible. Now, one thing I do like about the Fish is it's just nice. It's just a really nice card. I don't know why I got an obsession with Fish. I like the Luminon from Brilliant Stars as well, but yeah, this is a really nice one, but again, $19, not the most expensive. Number 7, we have the Miraidon EX. Look at that drop, guys, $20. It is basically dropped. Let's go back 6 months. Let's get a full little idea. Pretty much when it came out, it was around 60. It is a third of the price since its release, which is a massive drop. I do have this in my collection. I did buy this a little bit more. I think I bought it for like £28. Was a while ago. I did pay a little bit more and it has dropped since, but in my opinion it's one of my favorite cards in the set because of course it has a little dash bun looking out the window and he's my favorite. But yes, this is a really nice card. $20 though, not the most expensive, as we know Scarlet and Violet base, everything is dropping in value. But coming number 7 at 20, not the greatest. Number 6, Leafeon V-Star. So we just looked at the Glaceon, now we've got the Leafeon. Again, this is another card that has been dropping in Crown Zenith. One of my favorite cards in Crown Zenith. We go back 6 months. This card was around that $40 mark, and it has been dropping since, probably around pretty close to 50% drop. It did come out at the beginning of the year, and it has been dropping ever since. But the thing is with Crown Zenith is the set was printed a lot on the products around, and the pull rates are just so good that the card values are dropping. So that's one thing to take into consideration with any card from Crown Zenith, of course. Then number 5, we're halfway there. We're on the God of War EX. Another card, big chase card from Scarlet and Violet base, has been dropping as well. As we can see, $24. We're halfway at $24, and not the greatest. We go back 6 months, look at that. So it basically came out around 50, and then it has been dropping ever since. And that is, not the greatest, kind of dropped by 50% in value, but it is really, really nice. As they say here, right now, God of War EX is regarded as the best deck in Standard. So it's going to be good playability, which will help keep its value up. What happens if it's no longer good? What's going to happen to the card then? Is it going to drop down in value? We'll have to wait and see. But it is a beautiful card, and the story from Roltz, the Kalia, and the God of War are a nice little collection to have. We're sitting at around $24 halfway through. It's not the greatest. Then number 4, we have the Shenpao EX. We're now looking at $27, $28 for this card. This is a really cool artwork. I do like this. From Paldea Evolved, another card that has been dropping over the past few months since its release. We're looking, to be fair, it hasn't dropped much compared to some of the others. Came out around 36. And it has been dropping, but slowly. It's not like some of the others where we've seen these massive 50% drops. This has been holding its own for a decent amount of time. As it says here, that this card could be the center of piece of any collection, and I do agree. This is a beautiful, beautiful artwork. But that's what I'm saying. Paldea Evolved, it's a set where a lot of the cards are dropping. Some are holding their own, some shot, magic up and stuff, but some hold their own. So this is interesting to see how well this one's doing at $27.50. Right, we're coming to the top 3, and we have the Miriam coming in, the big chase card from Scarlet and Violet base set. We're looking at $47.40 for this card, and to be fair, it's got a rough ride, this card. This card came out at a ridiculous price. There was a lot of hype with this card coming from the Japanese set when it came into English. As with most waifu cards, they drop in value quite a bit. Now, we've seen a lot of cards drop by 50% in value. This one, even more so. So this actually, so it's 75, but it hasn't. This set actually, this card came out pre-order price about 200. Now we're looking at less than 50. That is really, really not good. But it is the third most expensive out of the special illustration rares at 47. If you are missing this card, guys, in your collection, now is a really good time to pick up because it is so cheap. That's one thing to take into consideration. Booster boxes, Scarlet and Violet base are dropping as well. But this is still a beautiful card to add into your collection, especially if you're missing it. Coming number 2, we have the Mewtwo V-Star from Crown Zenith. Big, big cards. This was pretty expensive when it came out. We're looking at $56 for this. So we go back 6 months, we're looking at around 90. This card's nearly dropped 50%. I think it could continue to drop for a little bit until Crown Zenith dries out a bit, but to be fair, there's so much Crown Zenith still around, and the pull rates are so good. I mean, since Crown Zenith come out, I think we must have pulled this card at least half a dozen times. I've pulled it for myself and for other people on stream. It is tough, but it's not as difficult as some other sets and cards from other sets. So this is a beautiful card nonetheless. Kind of goes really well with the Charizard from the UPC. We're looking at around $56. Crown Zenith, they're getting more expensive over in the US. However, the price is basically the same over here in the UK. In fact, they're actually cheaper to pick up some Crown Zenith. I mean, the ETBs are holding their own. The Mewtwo V-Star has dropped along with pretty much everything in the set, to be fair. Nothing's really holding its own. Even the Giratina has been dropping. So Mewtwo is dropping. Good time to pick up. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. You can pick one up for less than an ETB. I think that's a really good deal. Coming number 2 at $57. If you made this far into the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content. And let me know down in the comments, have you got any of these cards? Which one is your favorite? And what do you think number 1 is? Well, it's a big jump from $56 to what number 1 is. Number 1, of course, is the Iono. It is the biggest card so far in the Scarlet and Violet era. It's going to be interesting how well this will hold up against future sets, but we'll have to wait and see. $104, $105 for this card. Big jump from that Mewtwo. And even if you look at some of the other cards, like the Miriam, the big chase card from Scarlet and Violet base. This is more than double the value of that card. This did come out at a high level, but not as high as Miriam, but it's holding its own. And not only that, it's had a bit of a bounce back. You know, as we can see, this card came out 140, 150. It did drop to as low as 100, and it's ticked up a little bit, around that 15, 18, and it's settling around 105. So it's on a little bit of an uptick. But Powered Data Evolved, this is the big chase card. It's not that easy to pull. Like I say, pull rates are good in, you know, Powered Data Evolved, but the pool is so large, it's hard to get the cards you want. And this is definitely the case. Big money cards. Beautiful card, actually. I do like it. But for me, a Full Art Trainer is the most expensive card so far. Is a bit of a shame. I think the Charizard coming out of Obsidian Flames, the silver one with the funky crown, that one will probably be more expensive than the Iono. But we'll have to wait and see how well that Charizard will settle. But at the moment, Iono is the most expensive special illustration rare and the most expensive card from the Scarlet and Violet era so far. So there you have it, guys. Those are the top 10 most expensive special illustration rares. Now there are some beautiful, amazing special illustration rares and really nice art rares. Some of the art rares actually hold a good amount of value. We haven't really talked about them today, but some of them, like the Magikarp and the Tyranitar from Powered Data Evolved, have done really well. But with the most expensive card so far being the Iono at $100, we've only had 2 sets released so far, and I think that's pretty good going. If you look back in the Sword and Shield era, from Sword and Shield Base and Rebel Clash, there weren't really that many expensive cards. The Marnie was probably the most expensive, and it was probably around that Miriam level, but nothing was at that Iono level. Only until we got into sets like Vivid Voltage, when we started to see, you know, cards like the Rainbow Chonkachu, or when we go into Champion's Path, and we started seeing the 2 Charizards. That was when we started to see these, you know, big money cards really coming into the Sword and Shield era. Whereas so far, yes, Scarlet and Violet base isn't very good for value, but Powered Data Evolved seems to be pretty decent, mainly based on the tough pull rates to get the good cards that you want in your collection. But we'll have to wait and see how well Obsidian Flames will do with these big Charizards. So far from what we've seen from other people opening up the set is apparently the pull rates are really good and it's quite easy to get these big Charizards. But if you want to know what the best cards are to pull from all of the most recent sets, then make sure to click on this video right here. And if you want to watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure that subscribe button. Alright guys, that's it from me in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.